welcome to a very special episode of YarnGasm. I'm Kristen and I just returned from Edinburgh Yarn Festival, which is a yarn festival that happens in Edinburgh, Scotland, but once a year. This is my second year attending and I thought I would just do a quick recap of my adventure there and share with you projects I brought, my haul, and people that I was so lucky to meet in person either again or for the very first time. And yeah, it was just so much fun and I have a lot to share with you. So if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. And if you are a new viewer, welcome. I hope you enjoy this episode, but I just want to give you a quick heads up that this is not the normal format of the podcast. If you would like to see a normal episode, I highly suggest that you check out the previous episode and the ones before that. But this episode will just be recapping my time in Edinburgh this past weekend. So with that, just a couple of administrati announcement type thingies. If you would like to follow me on the interwebs, I am at Voolenvine on Instagram, where I'm most active, and I'm also Voolenvine on Ravelry. And if you haven't already, please do join the YarnGasm Ravelry group. It's the place to be if you'd like to chat about the podcast, ask questions, share your projects, and join in on some of the knit-alongs that we have going on, and giveaways as well. So definitely check that out. And I think that is it for administrati. So yes, I just got back, as I mentioned, I just got back from Edinburgh on Sunday. I was there, I left on Wednesday, got there Thursday morning. So it was a quick dip into Scotland, but it was the best time ever, you guys. It was my second year there. The first time I went with my husband Dennis, and this year I was flying solo, and as much as I miss Dennis, it was just a lot of fun to go on my own because I got to really take advantage of all the nitty events that were happening there, which I'll talk about throughout the episode. But yeah, I think, you know, before I babble on too much, let's get into some of the things that I brought with me to work on, because, you know, when traveling abroad, you're gonna want some projects to work on while you're on the plane, am I right? So I was fairly restrained this trip. Generally, I like to pack a whole lot of projects with me because I like variety when I travel, because I never know what I'm gonna feel like working on. But knowing myself in the past, I've only ever worked on one or two projects when I travel. And those are generally a pair of socks and a shawl. So a pair of socks and a shawl is what I brought with me. So I did cast on a pair of socks within the past 2 weeks, so I didn't really get to show you these on the podcast in the last episode because they were not cast on yet. However, I did cast on a pair of vanilla socks. This is my hand-dyed yarn, Voolenvine yarns on the Blitz base with some gold stellina in there. I don't know if you can see it. And I really, really love the way the colors are playing with each other in this color. It's so fun, and it's just a basic vanilla, plain vanilla cuff down 2x2 ribbing, fish lips kiss heel, grafted toe sock. And I finished this one while I was at Edinburgh, and then I cast this one on while I was there as well, and here's where I ended while knitting on the plane. So yeah, I got a lot done, and I will admit there are a couple of mistakes in the cuff, and I intentionally left them there because guys, I'm a very sentimental knitter, because I cast this on while I was hanging out with friends, and I don't know, I left them in there because I can always look back on these socks and say, hey, that's, you know, I can remember what I was doing when that mistake occurred. So I don't know, do you guys do that, where you just leave mistakes in because it's a happy memory? Maybe it's just me, I don't know. But yeah, if it was any other sock or whatever, if it was just like me working on it alone, maybe I'm just a little bit more type A when it comes to that, I would rip back, but I like to leave mistakes in sometimes. Yeah. Because good times, my friends. I actually purchased a pair of Lykke US 1.5, 2.5 millimeter needles before I left because I had been wanting to try sock size knitting needles with the Lykke. I have the Lykke kit, but it's only US size 2 and up. So my go-to sock knitting needle size is a 1.5, 2.5 millimeter. So perfect excuse to give these a try. And I have to say, I really enjoy them. I have no complaints. I like how sturdy. It's not a totally floppy cable. It has a little bit more structure to it. It's a little bit more stiff, but still, I really like the cable. And yeah, I still love Haya Sharps. Haya Sharp needles are my go-to knitting needles, so those will always be my go-tos, but as far as, you know, knitting with wooden needles, these are very, very nice. I highly recommend them if you are thinking about giving them a try and you prefer knitting with wooden knitting needles when knitting socks. So anyway, here's where I am with that, and I brought my my drawstring palm reading bag that I whipped up for myself. These bags are so perfect for traveling because, you know, you just tie them up like that and they squish up really nicely and you just toss them in your bag. Really convenient. You don't have to worry about bending it or anything. Anyway, came in handy. Totally gonna make some more of these for myself. And then also right before I travel, I generally go into a cast on panic mode. I don't know if you guys do that as well, but it's like I have to cast on something else, because I will say a lot of the projects that I have on the needles right now are not very travel friendly. They're not very conversational, I will say. They require a lot of attention, and knowing that I was going to a yarn festival and hanging out with friends and knitting, I wanted to pack conversational knits. And by conversational knits, I mean projects that I don't have to pay much attention to. They're either, you know, just plain stockinette, simple increases, decreases, and, you know, something that I don't have to constantly look down upon, like socks. And then, but I always like having a shawl on the go, so I cast on a Friends of a Feather shawl by Andrea Mowry. So here's where I am. I cast it on right before I left, so I have it on the go. You know, because who wants to cast on anything at an airport? I don't. I actually went stash diving. So the colors that popped out at me were 2 skeins of La Bien Aimée, which is this color right here. And it's this very delicate kind of mauve with subtle speckles. This I purchased at Vogue Knitting Live this year. And this is hedgehog fibers in their mohair base. And one thing that I didn't realize until after I cast on were the names of the colors. And when I looked at the labels, I realized that both of them have the same colorway name. So what? My cat is upstairs running around and doing crazy things. So this is La Bien Aimée in her singles base in her dusk colorway. And this is also Hedgehog Fibers mohair in their dusk colorway. And I think they go so well together. And yeah, it's Mauve madness, my friends. Are you surprised? Not surprised at all. If you've been watching the podcast, I'm obsessed with mauve. Newsflash. So again, the pattern is Friends of a Feather by Andrea Mowry, and if you're probably familiar with the Find Your Fade shawl. I feel like everybody and their monkey's uncle cast on the Find Your Fade shawl, including yours truly, but I frogged it because I've just got to find a better fade, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, again, I digress. Same shape as the Find Your Fade shawl, but a different construction. So while the Find Your Fade has a lot of garter and alternates between garter and simple lace, this alternates between 2 different colors and different lace textures and garter. So a nice variation on a shape. But yeah, highly recommend it, and you know, I'm excited to continue working on it. And I'm using, in case you're wondering, on my Clover bamboo needles. I'm probably going to transfer the needles to something else. But these are USI 6 4.0 millimeter needles. So yeah, those are the projects that I brought along with me to knit on while I was in Edinburgh. And I guess I'm going to move along to what I'm assuming you're all here for, the haul. So, but before I get into that, I want to quickly announce a really super special giveaway that a lovely podcast viewer that I met at the festival gave to me. And I'm so sorry, I'm probably going to butcher your name, but Arduor Bjort Skulantir. Definitely messed that up. I apologize, but I'll put your name with the correct spelling in the down bar. She came up to me with her friend and had a really lovely chat with them, and she gifted me a copy of her new book, which, guys, she published a book, which is no small feat. So congrats, but it's a beautiful book called Create Your Own Lopayesa, a guide to the Icelandic traditional wool sweater. And essentially what it is a recipe book on how to, as the name suggests, a recipe book for knitting your own lopayesa. And You guys, it is just so incredibly well written, in depth, and it's not a big book by any means, but there's so much information packed in here. Here's our door on her About Me page, and she was just so lovely and wonderful to chat with. I'm so glad that she contacted me before I had left to let me know that she would like to meet up with me and give me one of these to give away on the podcast. So just full disclosure, but yeah, we chatted for a little bit, and it was really, really lovely, our juror. So it was so lovely meeting you. But again, the book is just, look at that. She even gives you a whole bunch of motifs to choose from. So you can just, you know, it's like choose your own adventure essentially. And you can knit a size from 2 to 10 years old. So you can knit a child's lopayesa or an adult extra small to extra large lopayesa. She also covers techniques and tips and tricks. It's like learning to knit a pair of socks if I had to describe it. So once you knit a couple, you can just pick it up and go. So again, Adir gave a copy to me and one to give away to one of you lovely viewers. And as well, she also included a copy of her other pattern, a cabled square blanket, which is absolutely beautiful. I would imagine you can do pretty much, you can use up scrap yarn or some of those special colors that you have in your stash, and just a really fun comfort knit, so to speak. So again, thank you so much, Adir. I will create a thread in the YarnGasm Ravelry group, so hop on over there. I have not yet thought of a prompt, but the prompt will be in there, and I will choose a winner using random.org and announce the winner on the next episode. So yay, giveaway. So excited about this. So yeah. And I will of course link to where you can pick up a copy of this if you are interested in the show notes. All right, so I have a ginormous bag full of yarn that I got from the Isolde Booth. Is Le Haul. It's not very modest, guys. However, sorry, not sorry. I just let myself have a little bit of fun while I was away, so sue me. Anyway, it's a little discombobulated, so I'm just gonna pull out and talk about, as you know, there's no method to this madness. I'm just gonna pull out whatever's on top and chat about it. So I did stop off at the Stephen and Penelope booth and picked up a tote because while they were at Vogue Knitting Live in January, I was kicking myself for not getting one of these totes because I love black totes. They go with a lot, and yeah, I kind of wanted a Stephen and Penelope tote as well. So got that. I came away with a lot of totes, you guys. Speaking of which, I picked up this tote as well, and this was actually EYF had. This was the tote that EYF was selling last year, and it's really clever. It's a yarn ball with kind of like these different stitch motifs on it, and the idea is that you can take embroidery thread and stitch along all the little lines, and I thought that was so clever, and I totally missed out on it. I think they sold out last year, but they had them again this year, so I jumped on it and got one for myself. And they had a couple of other new really fun motifs, but this is the one that I wanted. So I got that, and yeah. Oh, and I have a badge from Hannah of the Crafty Chat podcast, who is also the Corner of Craft on Instagram and pretty much everywhere else on the web, but she has she got some new badges for her podcast. And then also Barbara from Knitting I Love was handing out badges as well, and hi Barbara, I met her for the very first time as well. So she was giving out these little fun embossed badges as well. I want to say the first day that I went to the Edinburgh Yarn Festival, I did not buy very much. I was kind of doing the rounds, taking some mental inventory. Well, the plan kind of ended up being like I was just gonna do the rounds, visit stalls. If there's anything that really jumped out at me, I would buy it. If not, I would just, you know, see what I saw and then come back the next day and if it was still there, I would buy it. So I tried to have some kind of method to my madness. So anyway, the first purchase that I made at the Edinburgh Yarn Festival was this gorgeous pink hazel bag. And I've been wanting to score a pink hazel bag for quite some time. She's always sold out on her website, and while she does wholesale to a couple of yarn shops, local yarn shops, a lot of the prints didn't really stick out to me. They weren't really my style. So, you know, what do? You go to the source. So I was really happy to see that Annette was vending there. And I actually first met Annette at Indie Untangled. She stopped by my booth, and we didn't unfortunately have too much time to chat, but we did manage to chat a little bit at the festival, so I was really glad to see that she was vending there, and it was really great to catch up with her and snag one of her bags. I saw this hanging behind her, and I was like, can I get that one hanging there? And yeah, I don't know, like, for some reason this one just wanted to come home with me. And if you can see, and granted it's a bright, shocking purple, but still, I love the color nonetheless, and it really matches this beautiful door fabric. And I guess the reasoning behind me choosing doors is because it kind of reminds me of London. Because last time I was in London, I just remember seeing all these really beautiful multicolored painted doors. They're definitely known for those. That's just kind of a thing that they do there. So I don't know, but that's what it reminded me of, and plus it's kind of very, very Victorian-esque. So yeah, it came home with me. And she was so nice and gifted me one of her enamel pins. It says Pink Hazel. It's a sewing machine, and it has little hearts on the side. Really, really cute. And then, of course, I had to get the official Edinburgh Yarn Festival enamel pin, and then a No Drama Llama pin from a friend that I'll chat about a little bit later. So yeah, more enamel pins to fuel my raging addiction. Yay, I'm a proud owner of a Pink Hazel knits bag. And yes, so great seeing you again, Annette, and I hope you had an awesome show if you are watching. So yeah, lots of bags. I definitely went a little crazy on the bag front, but anyway, next up, I guess I am going in order. This is working out very nicely. Okay, so my next purchase didn't happen till the very end of the first day at the festival, and I was just kind of getting fed up of having not purchased anything at that point, and don't do as I do. Don't, you know, because this is not a very wise way to shop, or a way, I don't know. It was just my own personal brand of crazy where I was just like, I have to come away with something today. So I did want to come away with some John Arvind yarn. The first time I heard about them was from Katie from Inside Number 23. She had knit a beautiful sweater out of John Arvind yarn and John Arvind textiles, and I saw that they had a booth there, and I'm like, you know what, I definitely want yarn from them, so I'm just gonna go in that booth and pick out some yarn. Didn't have a sweater or a garment or a project in mind. I just wanted a sweater quantity worth of yarn from them, and picked colors that I knew that I would gravitate towards, or, you know, a color scheme that I knew that I would really enjoy wearing. So I picked up 3 skeins of their Knit by Numbers 4-ply in this really beautiful charcoal heather colorway, and it is, they don't assign color names to them, but this one is KBNO2 4-ply. It's 100% pure Falkland merino wool, and it's organically farmed, and it is just so lovely. It actually, it almost feels like alpaca, but it's not. It has the same kind of really like yummy halo that alpaca does, but it's not as heavy and drapey, or it's not going to be heavy and drapey after it's all blocked. But I don't know, for some reason it just has that alpaca quality to it. I can't describe it. So I got 3 skeins of this, and because I want it to be a color-rick sweater, I got a skein of this, which is their KBNO6 color. And I made a boo-boo because, well, I'll talk about that in a second, but the other color that I got Yeah. So KBN76, it is, you know, move. So yeah, this will all become a sweater of some sorts. I have no idea. I think this wants to become I believe it's called a Winterfell pullover by Jennifer Steingast. The same sweater, if you tune into the Fluffy Fibers podcast hosted by Isabel, the same sweater that she just finished knitting out of Blacker Yarns. I think this would make a perfect Winterfell sweater, and hopefully I think I will have enough yarn to make this. I asked the lady in the stall, I said, is this enough to make a colorwork sweater? And she said, you know, for me, yes, it will be enough. So there's about 400 meters in here, which in yards, it's a little bit over 400 yards. So I think it'll be enough, fingers crossed. But yeah, and the one boo-boo that I did make was that while these are fingering weight, this is DK. But it doesn't look DK. I mean, it's a little, you can tell it's a little bit plumper than the fingering weight, but because it's going to be a colorwork sweater, I think I can get away with it, and this is going to be a minor contrasting color in the whole kit and caboodle. So I'm not freaking out over it. I think it'll be fine. But yeah, that was one of my whoopsie daisies that I made, but you know, whatever. So yeah, and here's their logo in case you're curious. I really love their logo. It's a paint by number chart with sheep on it, and I just think it is so cute. So yay. So I came away with that. Do not regret it. I love these colors so much, and I know the sweater that I make with it is just, I'm gonna wear it all the time. Okay, so day 2, which was probably day 3 for a lot of people, but day 2 for me, because the festival did start on Thursday, but I arrived on Thursday, so I didn't get to make it to the very first day, and I'm sure it was a lot of fun, but but last year I totally missed Skein Queen's booth. There were a lot of booths that I skipped over that I didn't really get a chance to check out, but this year I made a point to check them out, and one of those was Skein Queen. So she had a lot of beautiful colors in her stall as well, and here's one. Here's her logo. It is really, really beautiful. Yeah, and I think this is a one-of-a-kind colorway. She didn't name it, but this is on her Splendid base, which is 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon, and it's just a really, really fun color. So there was that, and then, of course, had to get this one. I think this was the last one there. I remember on the first day I saw 2 skeins lying around, and I almost bought both because I think this would have made a really beautiful cardigan of some kind. But this is her Wriggle base in her Mountain Heather colorway, and it's 100% superwash merino, single ply, and it's just really, really beautiful. So really happy with that purchase. And then, of course, I had to hit up the La Bien-Aimée booth, like you do, and Amy and I decided to do a little cheeky swap. So we decided to, you know, dye yarn for each other and you know, just swap yarn. So I gave her a skein, and then she gave me this beautiful, awesomely awesome skein. And yeah, this is her sock yarn, actually, and here's her logo. Let me see. Here's her logo. And yeah, it's her BFL Tough Sock base, and I've actually only ever knit with her single ply base, so I'm really excited to give her sock yarn a try. It is 75% blue face luster and 25% nylon. So, and this is her Happy Accident colorway. So really funky, really gothy and punky, and she's got my number. So thank you, Amy. And then, as I mentioned, I stopped off at the Stephen and Penelope booth, and I had wanted to try Undercover Otter. She was actually there, Petra. I got to meet with her and chat with her. It was really awesome. She's just such a fun person, and yeah, I'm just so glad I got a chance to chat with her a little bit and get some yarn from her. And this is her Undercover Otter yarn and fibers from Amsterdam in her Squirm sock base. So here is that. It's a logo, a little otter with a knit blanket on top of it. So cute. And this is her Wicked Little Things colorway. Really fun. Totally out of my comfort zone, but it's sock yarn, so socks can be out of anyone's comfort zone because they're socks. They go on your feet. Only you know what color they are when they're in your shoe, right? Again, another yarn company that I totally missed out on last year, but this year I made a point to visit their stall and get some of their yarn, and came away with these guys. So lots of little minis, and the intention is to knit some colorwork mittens out of them. And I asked one of the ladies working in the booth stall, whatever you want to call it. I asked her how many mini skeins would I need to make a pair of colorwork mittens, and she said I would need 2 of each color to knit a full pair. So I stocked up, and yeah, I love these colors so much together. They're so cool. So I could probably knit 3 pair of mittens out of all of these. So I got a really nice charcoal gray, I got a nice aubergine color, and then this looks like a light purple, but alone it looked mauve, but I think this is just its lighter cousin, the aubergine's lighter cousin, and then a really beautiful kind of like teal green, and yeah, they have a really cute logo too. So here's their logo, and it is British Hampshire yarn, sheared by Susie. I love how they tell you who shears the sheep. Washed and spun in Yorkshire, and it's hand dyed on the farm by Emma. And yeah, each skein has about 82 meters, which is about 100, about 95 to 100 yards per skein and 20 grams. So yeah, gonna have a lot of fun with these. And so there is that. And then I stopped over at the Isolde booth, which, by the way, was not a booth. It was a room. She had her own room, pretty much her own pop-up shop within the festival. It was pretty insane. So that was a lot of fun. I went in, and she had all the, you know, Norwegian yarns, all the rustic yarns that Ellie from Skander Knits always talks about on her podcast. And I think it's brilliant. Ellie always says, you know, it's kind of like she just opened up her own Norwegian yarn shop, which is, it's true. I actually purchased, Tuku Wool had a stall last year that I purchased yarn from them, and I saw that they had a whole wall in the Isolde room as well. And yeah, so if you recall, I purchased this color last year as well, along with a bunch of other colors from Tuku, and I'm actually still knitting a Boostabini with that yarn. I have to finish it, but I decided to purchase a whole sweater's quantity worth of this because I knew that I wanted to buy a sweater's quantity worth from Isolde, and I just didn't know what pattern. So I was wandering around, and then I saw the Tuku wool, and I was like, that is such a yummy yarn, and I would love to buy more of it. But then nestled within the Tuku wool was Isolde's new pattern, Stockbridge, and this is just a basic plain vanilla cardigan. And I was just like, you know, I actually really do need one of these cardigans. So Isolde made the decision for me. It was done. It was a done deal. As soon as I put 2 and 2 together, I was like, you know what? There's the pattern, there's the yarn around it. I'm just getting a whole sweater quantity's worth. So yeah, and it uses Tuku wool, and I bought 6 skeins as the pattern suggests. So we have a project coming down the pike. So yay, sweaters quantity. And yeah, Tuku wool is, again, very, very yummy yarn. It is 50 grams per skein, 195 meters, which is about approximately like 200 yards per skein. It's made in Finland, and it's 100% Finnish wool, fingering weight. They also have a sock yarn out as well, so you know, definitely check them out. And you can, if you're in the States, you can actually purchase this yarn from the Woolly Thistle, who is run by Claire. So she has all, people like Claire and Isolde are amazing. They basically bring all of the yarn that are yarn from Norway, Finland, and those nations that have the yarn that aren't readily available or easily accessible to either people in the States or that don't live close to those areas. So they kind of cut out the crazy shipping costs and the middleman, so to speak. So yeah, they, thank goodness for them. But yeah, you can also check out the Woolly Thistle if you would like to try some Tuku wool as well. So anyway, yay! So the other thing that I purchased from Isolde's stall was a copy of Lina, a really awesome knitting magazine. And yeah, I actually have been wanting to get a copy of this for a while, and especially because Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade has a pattern published in here. So congrats, Helen! Her fragment socks are actually in here, and if I can find it, so here they are. These are the fragment socks by Helen Stewart, and they are just so pretty. I have to cast these on at some point, but yeah, they have a lot of really beautiful patterns in here, and then Stockbridge, so I'm gonna knit that. But this magazine is just so incredibly well produced. The quality of the paper is just top notch, and it has that, oh gosh, you guys, it has that like new magazine smell. I don't know if any of you are into that, but it just smells so delicious. And they have recipes in here, which is beautiful photography. And they interview Amy of La Bien Aimée, and yeah, it's just such, and they also interview Jared Flood, and also Sosu Knits, Suzanne Summer, who I also got to see again this trip. So it was really great getting to chat with her again. And yeah, just a really well put together magazine, and I would love to subscribe to it. I feel like there's just it offers so much more than, you know, it's right up there with like Pom Pom and Rib magazine. It's kind of like a breath of fresh air compared to like your traditional knitting magazine. And then there's this pattern. Oh my gosh, you guys, get your hands on this magazine because it is absolutely beautiful. Yeah, highly recommend. Really well produced, and yeah, worth every penny. So yay, Lina. And this is their it's Lina Nordic Knit Life, and it's their 4th edition, so check it out. So next I'm gonna share some yarn that I was so wonderfully gifted from either friends or podcast viewers. So I hope you don't mind if you gifted me something, you don't mind me sharing with it. It's just too special, I think, not to share on the podcast, so I hope you don't mind. But I cannot resist because they're all just so beautiful. So let me start off with this gorgeous skein of Stranded Dye Works from the lovely and amazing Amy of the Stranded Dye Works podcast, or the Stranded podcast, and the dyer behind Stranded Dye Works. And girl has my number. Oh my gosh, Amy, you are just so awesome, and I'm so happy we got to meet. She is just as amazing and bubbly and friendly and kind as she is on her podcast, if not more. And yeah, she gifted me this wonderful skein of Online Alter Ego 2, and it's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and yeah, it's just so punky and mauve, and oh, I love it. And yeah, getting to meet Amy was just, it was so cool, you guys. I met her at the big knit night. As soon as she came in the room, I just like got up and like just leapt over to her and gave her like a giant hug because yeah, I couldn't resist. So anyway, Amy, can we be besties? I don't know, just because you're cool. So it was really great getting to meet her. So thank you so much, Amy. And then Tracy of Nora George Yarns gifted me a skein, and this was, I met her for the first time last year at Edinburgh, and she also gifted me a really beautiful skein then. But this is her this year's Edinburgh Yarn Festival exclusive colorway in the Elfin Irving color, and I'm feeling very ignorant right now because I have no clue who or what Elfin Irving is. I'm going to have to do a little research, aren't I? But it's absolutely beautiful, and it was just so great getting to see Tracy again. I know, she's just so wonderful. So thank you so much, Tracy. It's absolutely beautiful. Single ply, love a good single ply. So there's that. And then Grace O'Neill, who is the wonderful host of Babel's Travels, really awesome podcast. And again, I met her for the first time last year, and she's just she's just so cool. I love Grace. She's definitely got like a really fun sense of humor. Her and her boyfriend James. You got to check out her podcast because they just crack me up. Whenever I'm having a bad day, just pop on a Grace podcast because she's just wonderful. But yeah, she just started dyeing yarn as well. And can we talk about her logo? Because I think it suits her to a T. She's Babel's Yarn. Her company is called Babel's Yarns, and it's a yarn ball in a globe thingamajig, and it is just so cool. So cool. But yeah, it's hand dyed in Ireland by Grace O'Neill, and she is at, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna butcher your Instagram name like I always do. Anyone, I butcher every name, so you know, just bear with me. I apologize. But she's Vanna Villamil on Instagram. Did I get that right? I have no idea, but I'll pop it in the doobly-doo down below so you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so this is her Waverly colorway. It's a one-of-a-kind. I feel so special. In her merino saw colorway. It's this beautiful icy sea glass blue. So thank you so much, Grace. And then this lovely gorgeousness right here is from Magdalena of the Wolf and Schaefer podcast. And I first met Magdalena for a hot second last EYF, and I was really upset that we didn't get to spend more time together. But this year, we definitely made up for it. We definitely got to spend a lot more time together, and it was just so wonderful getting to hang out and chat with her. But yeah, she has the Wolf and Schaefer podcast, and this is her logo for her yarn company. And this color right here is on her Divana base and the Dusty Galaxy colorway. And it's absolutely beautiful, beautiful yarn. It's single ply, but I have to say it's a little bit more plump compared to maybe the usual single ply yarns that you're used to. So just to compare and contrast, you can kind of see, like this is my Nouveau base with like single ply. It's a lot thinner and this is a lot plumper, but it's so soft, you guys. So yeah, really beautiful. Thank you so much, Magdalena. Yeah, it was really great getting to hang out, and she spoiled me rotten with some more Swiss chocolates, and those are almost gone. Oops. And then I got to meet the lovely and amazing Amelia of Arctic Yarns, who is also a really wonderful pattern designer. She designed a few, my friend Nina of the This Old Knit podcast just knit one of her hat patterns, and it's absolutely stunning. And I was just so happy that I finally got to meet her in person. And here's the yarn she gifted me. That she dyes and offers in her shop, and it's let me see, this is her undyed base. It is sole, the base is sole, and it is 100% pure Norwegian lamb's wool. So this is her sole base, and it's 100% pure Norwegian lamb's wool, and it is so lovely, rustic, and soft, because lamb's wool, you guys, it's like buttered kittens. It's just so soft. It still has that rustic woolly feel to it, but definitely next to skin. So she gave me one of these, and then this is another base, but I'm assuming you can use them together, even though it's another base. But this is her Tinda base, and it's 100% pure Norwegian pelt wool. And again, I'm feeling really ignorant because I do not really know too much about pelt wool, but I will say it feels very yummy. A little bit more itchy than the lamb's wool, but that's probably to be expected, but still ever so soft and yummy, and has a really nice halo. And this is her King's Daughter colorway. So Amelia, thank you so much for this. This was this was a really wonderful gift, and yeah, I cannot wait. She said I believe she said I can knit a pair of mittens or a hat out of this quantity. So yay! So thank you so much, and I'm so glad that we got to hang out for as long as we did, and I hope one day we get to hang out again. Yeah, so she might be going to Rhinebeck. I don't know. Fingers crossed. I hope she can make it happen. Next up was a really lovely gift from our juror, who gifted me the Create Your Own Lopayesa book, her friend, and I'm so sorry, I'm blanking on your name, but she also gifted me this really beautiful skein of Dotier Dye Works yarn, and again, totally out of my comfort zone, but that is good. That is good. I need to gravitate towards other colors as well, and you know, for those days that I'm just not feeling the mauve and feel like casting on something. This is a really pretty summer colorway, I think. But yeah, it's her Bali colorway. So when it's really hot out, who wants to stare at warm colors? Cool off with a skein of yarn, right? So anyway, this was really, really lovely to receive. I will post a link to her shop in the show notes as well, and her info in the down bar below. So thank you so much. This was really, really lovely to receive as well. And then Caroline, who is Dundernit on Ravelry and Instagram, she has been following my podcast for quite a while, since the dark ages of YarnGasm way back when. And yeah, it was like I recognized her from, you know, the internet and everything, and getting to meet her in person was just so wonderful. And yeah, and special too, because she gifted me a really, really lovely gift, and I actually cried because she wrote the sweetest letter, or card I should say. And yeah, I opened it at my hotel room and I was just like, oh my gosh, I feel verklempt. It was just so nice. So Caroline, it was just so wonderful getting to meet you. Thank you so much. She gifted me this really beautiful, this needs no introduction, my friends. It's mauve, but it's a beautiful skein of Skein Queen in her on her enchanted base. DK, it's 70% baby alpaca, 20% silk, and are you ready? 10% cashmere. It's wonderful, so beautiful. So really, really special to receive. Thank you so much, Caroline. And yeah, it was just, again, super lovely meeting you, and I hope our paths cross again soon. Yeah, and I wish we had more time to chat. But as these things are, it's always like, hello, goodbye, hi. And there really isn't enough hours in the day to, you know, chat with all the people that you really want to chat with. So yeah, again, really lovely gifts, totally unnecessary, but super appreciated, and very, very special and near and dear to my heart. So thank you so much to everybody. Again, everybody and anybody that came up to me and said hello. And I apologize if I seemed a little aloof or kind of dazed. I have to admit, I was a little tired and knackered, my new favorite word apparently. But please know that I really enjoyed meeting you and getting to chat for a little bit. But it was just so fun and wonderful getting to hang out with so many people. And I met, as I mentioned, I got to meet people for the very first time that I've only known through the internet. As I mentioned, Amy from the Stranded Dye Works podcast, and Isabel of Fluffy Fibers. She was just, I have to say, that was one of the biggest highlights of going to Edinburgh Yarn Festival, because we had been following each other for quite some time. I think we both started podcasts around the same time and have been, you know, following each other since. Although I will say it was a very short time that we had to actually spend together. I really wish we had more time because I honestly felt like I could have sat and chat with her for hours. She's just that type of person, and she's even more beautiful and amazing in person as she is on her podcast. And you guys, if you have the opportunity to meet Isabel, she's just so, yeah, words cannot describe. It was so great. It was so great. So Isabel, if you were watching, big hugs, kisses, and you know, I hope that one day we'll be able to sit down and, you know, relax and have a knit and a chat and all that wonderful stuff. You know, not in the crazy hullabaloo of a festival, but even still, it was a lot of fun. So yeah, that was really wonderful. And then I also got to meet Nathan, the Sakamatician, and it's so funny because we have been attending the same festivals in the past couple of years, but our paths just never crossed. We were like two ships passing in the night. So I'm glad we took care of that this year. We finally met up, as brief as it was. We did get to chat, hug it out, and say hello. So hi Nathan. And Casey Morrow of Creative Musings podcast, she was there. And I had no idea, when I started following her, I was following her sewing blog. So I had no idea she was a podcaster or a knitter. But yeah, she recently mentioned that she was going to Edinburgh Yarn Festival, and I was like, yes! So again, another brief meeting. I think she was only there for a day, and I'm just so happy that we got to meet. This is just like, it was like Disneyland for me. I just got to meet all these people that have been inspiring me, that I've been following for a while, a long time it feels like. So finally getting to meet them was just, all the feels, all the warm and fuzzies wrapped up into one giant festival. It was, yeah, can you tell I'm just like super excited and I'm still coming down from the high. So, but I'm just so happy I got to meet Casey as well. And she had her oracle. You guys, the oracle shawl, I saw so many at EYF, and I have to say I think I saw a lot more at EYF than I did at Rhinebeck. I think I must have seen like 5 or 6. I know Magdalena had her oracle shawl, Casey was wearing hers, and several other people came up to me to show off theirs, and I totally missed opportunity. I'm kicking myself for not taking photos of all of them and making a giant montage. Yeah, so talk about, I don't know, I'm actually very disappointed at myself for not taking as many photos as I did, or video. The first day I brought my camera along with me, but left my SD card in the hotel room. So that was a rookie mistake right there. So yeah, not very much vlog footage, but I will try and tack on some vlog footage at the end of the episode so you can see what I did see and you know, and enjoy that hopefully. But I did take a lot of photos on Instagram, so if you've been following me on there, that's another place to check it out. But I'll try and sprinkle all that stuff in here. I feel like I'm babbling, so I hope I'm not boring you too much. But yeah, it was just so many wonderful people. Katie from Inside Number 23 was there, and it's just, you know, she hosted a kind of rogue knit night, so to speak, where we all just, after the first day that I was there at the festival, we all just kind of got together, went to the store, picked up some wine, cheese, crackers, and snacks, and just headed over to Katie's flat and just hung out. Becky from Stringing It Together was there. She was only in town for one day, and you know, she really wanted to go to Edinburgh Yarn Festival, so she was only in town for like 18 hours. Crazy wonderful lady that you are, I love you. She was there, and we got to hang out with Hannah of Corner of Craft, Crafty Chat podcast. All these people that live across the pond so far away, yet so close through the internet. It's just being there in person with them was just so magical, and I could wax poetic about this for forever. So anyway, I'm babbling on for a lot. I don't want to go on too much and name drop too much, but it was just such a special time, and I'm so glad that I was able to make it happen this year. And I hope I can make it happen again next year. So you know, fingers crossed. I don't want to set anything in stone because I don't know, but if I can, I will do everything in my power to make it happen. Yeah, so I guess I'm kind of rambling on. This is kind of the blather section of the episode. So I guess before I, you know, talk more in depth about what happened, I just want to do a quick shop update segment because I am going to have a shop update. Okay, so I will be having a shop update this Saturday, March 24th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, and Saturday updates are international friendly updates. So that just means that the update happens at a different time and day than my normal Friday updates, just to give others a chance to catch an update. Fridays at 7 p.m. aren't usually convenient for them, so anyone can shop this update. It's just a different time. So anyway, just to give you a heads up, thank you so much to everybody who shopped my last update. I sold kits for the upcoming Curious Handmade Mystery Knit Along MCAL, hosted by the lovely and amazing and talented Helen Stewart, who, by the way, I had the pleasure of hanging out with at Edinburgh Yarn Festival. Helen had actually approached me at India Untangled last year in October, and I wanted to know if I would be interested in doing a collaboration with her for her upcoming MCAL. And of course, how could I say no? I just jumped for joy. I was like so excited that she had asked me to. So yeah, we had really fun collaborating on the MCAL together, and I was just so happy that we got to spend some time in Edinburgh. She's just, as a person, she's just so warm and down to earth, and yeah, I'm just so happy that we got to spend some time together and catch up and talk about the MCAL and you know, just knitting, and you know, it was really fun. So Helen, it was just so great getting to spend some more time with you. So I received a couple of messages wondering about details for the MCAL. Helen is still working out the logistics of it and more details, so please do keep an eye on her Instagram feed and sign up for her newsletter, and stalk her on Ravelry, her Ravelry group. She's bound to post some more information there, but it's coming, she's going to be posting about it soon. So as soon as she does, I will be sure to cross promote all the information, but I will be having more kits in the shop this weekend. And here's a peek at the kit. This little guy still needs a label, but these are the colors in the kit. This is my Solstice colorway, which is just a really nice natural white with some hints of brown and black speckles. And then this is Curious, which is kind of like a really delicate mauve with some bright pops of magenta and teals and browns. And then this is Thaw, which is kind of like a really nice navy slash purplish blue with some mauve speckles in there as well. And yeah, so I will be having some more kits in the shop available, as I mentioned, on my Nouveau base, and I will also be having some on Blitzed and Volca. So be on the lookout for those. I will be dyeing more kits throughout the coming weeks, so if you miss out, you have other opportunities to get some, and then eventually I will be splitting up the colorways so you can purchase them individually, but for now they will be in kit form. So there's that. And then I was actually inspired by my trip to Edinburgh and came up with a new colorway appropriately named Edinburgh. So here is the color in question. So here we go. It's kind of like, I can't really describe this color. It's just kind of like a nice blend of navy and peach and speckles, and yeah, so I will be dyeing this across several colorways. I was just having fun in the dye pot, and this is what I came up with, and it just seemed appropriate for Edinburgh Yarn Festival. And I did not sell these or anything. I just dyed up a bunch of skeins before I left, and yeah, this will become a regular in the shop, just because it reminds me, you know, of my trip, and I would like to share that with you guys. So I will be dyeing this across several bases in my shop for this weekend. So yay, new colorway. I'm just coming out with new colorways, you guys. I don't know, I can't keep track anymore, so that's not really a good thing. But anyway, I really need to sit down and take inventory of all the colorways that I really do have, and update the website with you know, the repertoire, so to speak. But yeah, so Edinburgh will be in the shop. I will have kits, and then I will also be dyeing some other colorways as well. I will have some more Strange Brews, so it's gonna be a full update. I hope you can make it. Again, Saturday, March 24th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Hope you can make it. And with that, I am going to end things here, I believe. Next episode, I'll be sure to give you a play-by-play in the blather section of what I did, what I saw in Edinburgh. But if you are so inclined to stick around a little bit longer, I'll include some video, vlog footage from my time in Edinburgh. It's not a lot, but I did take some video, so stick around if you want to see that. But thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and if you liked it, please click the subscribe button below if you want to be notified when I have a new episode out. And yeah, so that said, happy knitting, and I will see you next time. Bye. Hey guys, I am in Edinburgh. I just got to my hotel room. I'm early, but they had my room ready, so I'm here. I made it, and minimal jet lag. I managed to get some sleep on the plane, although I was a bit in and out, but I'll take what I can get. I'm feeling, I want to say like 85 to 90% okay, but I'm in my hotel room, and you guys, I lucked out. This hotel room is so sweet. I was not really expecting this, but can we talk about the view? It's overlooking the Royal Mile. This is the main drag, and it leads all the way up to the castle. So yeah, I'm pretty much in a really hot spot right now. So it's awesome. While I have your attention, let's just do a little tour. We have a mirror. Hello. I really like my travel outfit. I think I did really good. Anyway, and then we have a mini bar. Let's see what's in the mini fridge, because I think after the voyage I had, oh, coconut water. I think this might have to happen. And then here we have a TV and a desk and a really awesome chair, and yeah, that's all mine. Sorry, Dennis. Let's check out the bathroom. I don't think I want to leave. I really don't. It's purple.
Somebody get chips.
Oh,
Swappy doodles.
Chrissy, I heard you asked for the mayonnaise.
No, I discussed the chips. Yeah. Oh, do you like mayo on your greens? Oh, bless you, my child.
Belgium.
Look who showed up! It's Ellie.
She's so chic.
She bought yarn, lots of yarn. And we're all passing the yarn around. I'm showing off your shawl.
So you first even last?
Yeah. We just finished lunch at Witchery and
I made it just in time because I was taking a bus, but enough about that. We had food and it was fun, and it was a really nice venue.
it was delicious. Yeah. And
We're all here bagpipes.
Bagpipes. Let's go find the bagpipes, shall we? It took a while to get in tune. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a bagpiper out my window playing some bagpipes. Very apropos. And yeah, it is day 2 of EYF, and I made a total vlogger rookie mistake yesterday. I packed my camera, but I somehow forgot my SD card in the hotel room. I think I was uploading photos from my camera the other night and forgot to put it back in the camera. So I went the whole day at EYF day 1 without vlogging anything. But I did take some photos, so I posted those on Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, you can see them there. I'm going back to the corn exchange. I'm going to take the bus and head on back there, but you guys, yesterday was so much fun. I cannot begin to tell you or put into words how fun yesterday was, and I cannot wait to go back and do it all again today. And in case you're curious, I have my EYF badge, podcaster badge, woo, and I'm wearing my Damyako Lopa, and ironically, because it's St. Patrick's Day, I'm wearing something green. So, all right, let me head out the door. Hey guys, so I'm on the bus and look who I found.
And I'm on the bus and look who I found.
Hi. Amy of Stern and Dye Works and Ellie of St. Here. How are you guys? You guys have fun?
Yeah, I went to the Kate Davies talk and a very relevant cardigan.
Look at that cardigan. Yeah. We're all cardied out here.
Yeah. So much knitwear. It's snowing outside.
We're nice and toasty on the inside.
Great. Yeah.
So back to shopping. Yeah. See you later. Hey, so I'm at the Stephen and Penelope booth and I ran into Undercover Otter. Hey. Have a good show.
Josh is standing right behind me. It's Wild Josh.
Hi.
He suddenly appears.
So Ellie happens to match the cardigan and the yarn with her sweater. She's just blending into the knitwear right now. Nicole and Cece, hi! Hey guys! So I'm sitting in the podcaster lounge and look who I found!